All right. Hi, everyone. Thank you for joining us for the 2025 Popcorn Kickoff for the Cradle Liberty Council. I'm Greg Osborne with the Cradle Liberty Council, and we're also joined by our esteemed representative from Trails End, our partner over there, Ryan Lundberg. So, hi, Ryan. How are you?
I'm doing great. Thanks for inviting me today. Looking forward to this kickoff.
Looking forward to it. Thanks for your help throughout the sale. So, if you're here, we're going to wait for a few people just to kind of start assembling, joining us on Facebook Live. And of course, this will be this will be recorded as well. But if your unit hasn't committed to the 2025 sale yet, take a look at the QR code on the screen. You can scan that. That'll go right to the sign up form, or you can also go to scoutingphilly.org/popcorn, and you'll see the button to sign up. And there's a whole bunch of resources on there too. A recording, like I said, a recording of tonight's kickoff will be available on that website, scoutingphilly.org/popcorn, along with tonight's slide deck. We'll have a PDF of that slide deck up there too. So you feel free to take notes, but we'll make sure you have that stuff up there and ready to go. If you do have a question tonight, if you're on Facebook, you can put it in the chat. I'll monitor that. Or you can also use that email that's on there, popcorn@scoutingphilly.org. We'll answer the questions at the end if we don't cover it during the presentation. And of course, if you're watching this after the fact, you can always ask a question in the chat or send something send an email to popcorn@scoutingphilly.org. So before we get started in 2025, I want to take a minute and congratulate all our top poppers from 2024, last year's sale. Some great results here, great fundraising by both our scouts and also some of the top 10 districts, the top 10 units there from throughout the council. So just to give you an idea, more than $300,000 was raised just here in our council alone to support local scouting here in the Cradle Liberty Council. And about 192,000 of that, nearly 192,000, went back to directly support units programs. So we've got some units out there that are really supporting their adventures through this program, and we hope to. We've got at least, I think, 7 or 8 new units that have joined the sale so far this year, and we hope to have a bunch more. So hopefully you can recreate their success and use popcorn to raise the money that you need to support your programs. And that's exactly why we're doing this. So the whole point here is to raise money to fund your unit scouting adventures throughout the year and help provide the best possible program to your scouts and families. So it really comes down to figuring out what you want to do as a unit. So that's planning your program, brainstorm what you want to do, figure out how much it's going to cost. That's where you come up with a budget. Then you want to communicate that to your families through a calendar or however you communicate that. Set expectations. So let your families know what that fundraising goal is. Total program cost divided by your unit commission equals your unit sales goal. And then you can divide that by your number of scouts to get that per scout goal. And then go out there and raise the money. And we're going to share a lot of tools with you tonight for how to do that. And of course, the most important part is enjoy a great scouting program. So some very basic steps. I know a lot of units have already planned their programs, so you've got a lot of this done. And you can go ahead and set your goals if you haven't already. And if you haven't started the program planning process, we'll share some tools with you tonight to do that. But that's the whole reason that we want to raise money through popcorn, is to support really great scouting programs. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to Ryan, and he's going to share some exciting details with you. So Ryan. Well, it looks like we might have lost Ryan there. There he is.
Yeah, sorry about that. Can you hear me okay?
We can hear you fine. Thanks for coming back.
Perfect. Has anybody had their PC ever want to update in the middle of an important meeting with other people watching? Well, that's my first, and that's what just happened. So,
Right.
like a good scout, always be prepared. I was able to jump on my phone and join to this meeting. But before we get to this slide, just a quick introduction. I've been with Trails End for a little over 7 years. Looking forward to talking today about a lot of new program environments and programs that we're going to make your lives easier. But the first thing, and I know Greg did an excellent job talking about planning your ideal year of scouting and going through that process. The big thing there is you have to have a goal this year to be able to book storefronts. So that's the first thing I wanted to highlight before we start going through it. It's all about what you need to raise to have a great scouting adventure through your program. You set that goal. We've got so many new goal tools in the website, whether they're web-based. We'll also have a couple different webinars. Those webinars will be great to walk you through what other unit leaders do and so forth to plan your entire year. But we'll talk more about goal setting and some more program details coming up now. Okay, so ways to sell. So did you know the average scout who sells all three ways, which are storefronts, online, and wagon sales, averages over $1,100? It's a pretty crazy average if you do all three of these. So what are the three ways to fundraise? So the first one, and by far the most popular, is the storefront method. So Trails End secure storefronts all over your service area, along with other units also secure their own locations. This is where you set up that table outside of a high foot traffic location and allow scouts to greet the customers coming in and out. We like to talk about what's the best case scenario, or how do you make the most of your time fundraising. So the big thing with that is the one scout and their parent shift. Doesn't always work, but I've seen locations where 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, even up to 9 scouts, and that's just too many scouts at one location. Our thought process is kind of saturate the market, diversify, and go to other locations with the one scout, one parent method. Next is the online. We have some really cool new online functionality coming out this year that we're going to show in this presentation. But did you know over 85% of your sales come outside of your council zip code? This is a great way to reach friends and family all over. And if you look over the July 4th weekend, we've got a really cool tree promo for a $20 donation for trees that we'll may highlight later. But make sure you participate online, sharing both text messages and social media. We'll have more information on that to come too. Last but not least, this is the tried and true. I think Greg and I were talking about this when we were scouts as a kid. But this is the way that we used to fundraise. This is where you go door to door with the product. You can have the product in hand or order it later, and then scouts deliver it. And that's how the wagon sales work. So we'll go to that next slide, Greg. Cool. Unit Leader Portal. Okay, so Trailsden has done a ton of different research, and you're going to see some really neat upgrades this year to the Unit Leader Portal. So once you've registered and you've signed in and have a username, this is where the unit leader plans his or her entire sale. You can put your goal in. You can invite your scouts to register. You can order your popcorn. You've got all this different type of reporting in there. You can transfer product between units. And this is where you schedule and manage your storefront sites and shifts. So make sure you take a look at the unit leader portal. I also like to say this is a little bit of like a preview to a movie. So what I say there is we've got more detailed training coming out here soon about the unit leader portal. If you're looking for what to click and where to click, this is more that sneak peek. Okay, storefronts. Super excited about this. We're going to have more hours and more locations for you this year. This kicks off July 22nd, where all the 10K plus unit leaders get 4 reservations. July 23rd, all units get to pick 2 spots, and then July 24th, it's unlimited. So nationally, Trailsden's going to book over 860,000 hours. That number is now actually about 950,000. It's going to be roughly 6,000 total hours for your specific council. And we're going to walk through that on where you get to pick those locations and sign up to sell. We've also done a little bit of research. I don't know how many of you, this happened to a lot of units I work with, that maybe you showed up at that 8 a.m. time slot and it wasn't very busy. We've kind of trimmed those bookends. So the very ends of shifts and starts of shifts may not be scheduled, but the bulk where we see the most foot traffic is in more locations. So that's just a little bit of a sneak peek on the storefront program. Make sure you have it on your calendar though. If you've set over $10,000, you get those 4 spots on the 22nd and on the 23rd, 2 spots. And also remember, you have to have a goal. Greg, if there's any questions throughout the chat that or anything, you can always pause or stop me. Like Greg said, we're going to have all these slides out there and plenty of resources both on your Facebook group and on your council webpage that Greg shared earlier. Cool. Okay, storefront efficiency. Okay, so the reservation times, we always get, what time does it open? It's 8 p.m. Eastern. So on the 22nd, 8 p.m. Eastern, 23rd, 8 p.m. Eastern, and so forth. Remember, you got to have a goal. The larger the goal, there's going to be guidance on your screen to tell you how many hours you need and kind of walk you through that thought process. So Trails End gives you that place to sell and recommends how much popcorn to order based off your goal. So that's all that different types of guidance. Something called app queues is going to kind of guide you through that process. This is really new, and I'm excited to talk about it. Is this auto release on Thursdays at 8 p.m. on Eastern? Over 38% of the weekend hours claimed in 2024 were not used by scouts and didn't have a scout assigned to them. So, of all those hours we book, 38% were essentially no shows, no shows because no scout signed up and a unit leader just booked it. So, those Friday, Saturday, and Sunday locations of the upcoming week, if they do not have a scout assigned to them, will be jumped back into the pool at Thursday at 8 p.m. Eastern. So if you think you need more shifts, it's a great time to log in on that Thursday night before that weekend and also take a look at that. If you've got just one scout, so there's one scout that wants to work those 2 hours or 1 hour of a full day shift, we will not release that shift for the unit. It has to be 0 scouts. So make sure you have scouts assigned to it and don't take too many hours you don't need. Cool. Just like I said, more opportunities for you to secure locations. We also love it when unit leaders pick those mom and pop locations, that pizza joint down the corner or the local farmers market, something we may not have a ton of visibility to. So what I always like to say is book your own locations on some of the smaller locations or the ones we may not know, and then rely on us for some of the other locations too. And again, if there's no scouts assigned, those shifts will be auto released to the system at 8 p.m. Eastern. Too many shifts were just no showed in 2024. Overall, we had over 6,000 or 5,700 hours worked for your council. Only 1,000 hours were worked by scouts. So a big number were technically no shows. And we're trying to prevent that. Cool. Okay. Lots of updates on the Scout technology. We actually have a new app coming out. What does that mean? You don't have to download a new app. You can use your same registration information. It's just an update, but it's technically like a new app built on a new operating system. This is a point of sale platform. So it saves time and it's easy to use. You'll find it on the Google Play and Apple App Store. Tracks all real-time inventory, manages your storefront shifts for scouts, accepts credit cards. Trails In, as a company, working with all the units and councils we do, is 85% credit card out there when you factor in online and credit card sales. Trails In covers all credit card fees. And we have something brand new, which we'll show a little video up here later. Trails In now has tap to pay. So if your phone has that technology, which anything over like an iPhone 8 and a majority of Androids that are in service now, a lot of the Samsungs, a lot of the Google phones and so forth have that ability. You don't need any hardware, which we'll show this cool video on how it works. Tap to pay from a smartwatch, tap to pay from a credit card that has a chip, or even phone to phone pay can be worked. This is going to be great. I know a lot of unit leaders invested in Square readers last year, the $50 Bluetooths. You can still use those. There's no problem with that. But now you don't have to buy more because if somebody has that phone with that ability, it's going to be able to tap to pay. So just kind of recapping, Trails In will help you recommend an order, give you a place to sell, and give you a way to sell through the app. So we're trying to make this as turnkey as possible for the units. Here's the dashboard. We're gonna have some upgrades on the dashboard here. It's gonna be simpler. Rather, the hamburger menu on the left is gone. It's gonna be more intuitive. As you can see, you can make a sale. You set your goal to rewards points, cash to credit. We still have that conversion, which if a scout chooses to, they can transfer their cash sales to credit card sales. Storefronts isn't going to be in there. All the sales data, your orders, your online sales, and all the training. There's some really cool new training that's going to be coming out within the next week or two with some top selling scouts across the country that we'll be sharing with the council and you all, and you'll see it inside your technology. So make sure you check that out too. Okay, I talked about online sales earlier, but here are some of the really neat updates we have. What I think is probably the most powerful update, or one that will generate a lot of sales, is the past customer list. We're making that really visible. So you can see your past customers and email those directly who have supported you before. I can talk to some of the top selling scouts out there, and I feel like they've got a Rolodex, which is kind of dating me when I'm using that term, but a name of all the different people that have supported them before that they go back to. They always know the house 3 doors down on the left. The father there was an Eagle Scout in the past. He always supports. That's kind of that thought process. Go back to your past consumers. Now we're bringing that to the online element. So it's going to give you all the customers that you sold to in the previous years. The next one I want to highlight is the texting. So we saw texting take a huge leap last year. It's kind of looking through the context of your contacts in your phone, anybody who's not so local. Like for instance, I've got one of my best friends from college. He lives in Orlando. So my scout can text him and then he can purchase and support that. So go through your contacts. We have shares already built in there. That's kind of a canned speech and you can edit that. Also, emails are important in social media. So scouts are guided to personalize their page, and then it's going to help get them started with those pictures. The big emphasis why the popcorn sale is important, it's not because we sell overpriced popcorn, but it's that feeling that somebody gets from buying and helping a nonprofit or something that's close to their heart, like scouting. We're trying to bring that to the online platform and showing more pictures of the scout if the parent or guardian is okay with uploading those photos. And we're showing more of their story. So tug on those heartstrings, tell the things you're working for and so forth. And online can be a great way to pad your stats, to fundraise for as much money as you need for a great year in scouting. In-app guides. Okay, so a lot of new technology pieces out there have these in-app guides that kind of walk you through and they're dynamic. So at the start of the sale, I'm sure a lot of you have already seen this. On the bottom right, it shows make sure you set your goal, invite your scouts, and look at your storefront settings. We want to highlight specific things while you're in that environment. So for instance, when you're in your sale and you're running out of white cheddar, it might pop up and say, you don't have enough white cheddar for the next 2 or 3 shifts next weekend. It's also going to talk about where your goal has been set. It's going to walk you through different functionality. Think about it as like an online tutorial that's going to be real time, a little bit based off AI, a little bit based off things that we have programmed in if you are doing certain functionality to help guide you through the screens. I think this is important for new people and returning colonels alone. You're also going to see this also in the app. So like the first thing, we want scouts to set their goal and then watch the sales training video. So kind of walking through best practices to help you all understand the technology. Trails and Online, I wanted to show another picture of what a scout profile looks like. You can see on your screen here, it's got a little green graph on the side, kind of a bar graph that's horizontal. That's going to show the consumer how close you are to the goal. We want to emphasize the scout story. Other thing that's pretty neat is allowing consumers to share their scouts pages within their own network. So we talk about like virality with online sites. If we get enough shares and so forth, if it's a cause that somebody seems worthy of sharing on their own socials, other people can support. That's our goal. So if like a grandparent, an aunt, an uncle, whomever wants to share their scouts, their nephews, their nieces, or whomever, you can share that within your own network and ask for support there. That's a great best practice. Here's the tap to pay demo. So we'll play that.
And on iOS, it then gives me the option to use tap to pay, which is what I'm going to select. That opens up the tap to pay functionality. And I'm going to hold up my card. It's completed that payment and authorizing, approved. And now my order is confirmed.
Cool. So some of the things I like about the video, we've been testing this for the last 3 months at show and sell locations in our home council. So it's not something that you guys are going to be the first people to try. We're very confident in the technology. We actually have had meetings in San Francisco with Square. We're going to be the first outside company to have tap to pay with Square built in. We actually helped Square write some of the code. So we're super excited about this technology. I also like to show that's Leah. She's the head of our product and development. She's awesome. I got permission to use this video. I said my favorite thing about this video, Leah, is how quick it is, right? So if you think about all those different customers that are coming up to your show and sell table, just tapping your credit card, grabbing that bag of popcorn and walking away and still having a good experience, that it's super important. You can also take all your donations through the tap to pay. If they're using a credit card, you can still send receipts. The functionality is there. It's really, really neat. Definitely excited. I think it could be a game changer just for easy use for you all, the volunteers in the field.
And on
Okay. Other surprise, Trails End rewards. So Trails End, along with the Cradle of Liberty Council, we've opted into this prize program again, but it's got some enhancements and no takeaways. That's always fun to say, right? It's only positive things so far. We're adding so many different gift card options for you all to use. Amazon, Target, Walmart, prepaid MasterCard. That's a big one. You can use that anywhere MasterCards are taken, whether it's your local camp or you're going to the scout shop to buy advancements or a new uniform. You can use that prepaid MasterCard with your council. Dick's Sporting Goods, Nintendo, GameStop, Bass Pro Shops, Cabela's, Apple, Lego, Xbox, and PlayStation. So over 15 options, not just Amazon anymore. I heard a lot from top selling scouts that they have several hundreds, if not even a couple $1,000s worth of Amazon dollars left over. This hopefully will give them more options to spend and to use quicker. You can also diversify your gift card, so you don't have to just get Amazon or just get Cabela's. You can kind of pick and choose which gift card motivates you the best. For unit leaders, when I first started, it was mostly physical prizes out there, and then you guys had to order the prizes. They had to ship in. You had to wait till that scout showed up at a scout night, and maybe they didn't show up. You literally in your Tahoe, you had 3 prizes for 3 months that scouts never showed up and wanted, right? So this takes a lot of work away from unit leaders. You don't have to approve anything, receive, distribute, or anything. I also get the question, can I use these cards in stores? Yeah. So if, for instance, if you go to Walmart, you can use the Walmart code at their checkout register or Target or so forth. So it kind of gives the scout also, people are not totally done with online shopping, still a big part of our economy, but maybe they want to go in person. Uncapped levels to incentivize top sellers. Other big one, the Heroes and Helpers program. We're adding a half point additional on all Heroes and Helpers programs here. So if a scout does a Heroes and Helper sale, if it's a cash sale, it's 1 point plus the 0.5, which is 1.5, and credit card 1.25 plus the 0.5, which will all be spelled out in the technology, but we're incentivizing those donations, which I'll talk about here shortly. I'm super pumped about the gift cards. I'm really excited to log on to Facebook and see some of the cool things scouts buy at the end of the year with these prizes. On average, it's about 5 to 6% total of your sale in prizes back to your scouts. So it's a big number. We're excited for it. Greg, anything to add on that? Or any other questions
No,
in the chat?
no, great program. The only question I just want to confirm, and I
Yeah.
think I know the answer, at least I answered it this way, is you had mentioned that the tap to pay works with more than just the iPhone. It works with most Android
Yeah,
phones
yeah, it
too.
does. It actually has
Okay.
worked for Android a little bit longer. So for all you
Okay.
Android people, they've had tap to pay on some other devices longer than some of the Apple. So yeah.
Great. Awesome. Yeah, just to I mean, on top of the already fantastic Trails End Prize program, we've got some local council incentives that have really haven't changed much from the 2024 sale. So there'll be the top sellers get to go to the family camping weekend that we have at Muster Scout Reservation, usually in June or July of every year. This year it's for 2024. It's at the end of June, and those invites have gone out. The top 5 selling scouts in the council will also get to pull from a prize vault, and scouts who sell over $2,500 in total sales, which includes traditional online, will receive a $25 Scout Shop gift card in addition to the other gift card program that we have there. And every scout who records a sale through the app or Trails End system will also receive a patch. So those are some of the local council incentives in addition to the already fantastic Trails End program.
Great. Yeah, it's awesome. The next part, we're going to talk a little bit about the scout pitch, how to make sure your scouts are effectively out there fundraising, and then product mix comes up here shortly. So some of the thought processes here. We really want to focus away from a scout selling popcorn. Look, you can walk into any Walmart, you can walk into any store and buy a couple dollar bag of popcorn. That's not what you're selling. I almost cringe when I walk up to a show and sell table and the first thing a scout yells is, "Do you want to buy popcorn?" It's our job to kind of educate the best practice, right? Think about the PBS model. No one wants a $75 coffee mug, right? They're donating to a nonprofit they believe in and getting a little token of their appreciation with it. That's the same thought process here, right? So, first off, I'm earning my way to summer camp. With a $20 donation, you can pick any bag on the table and help me earn my archery, canoeing, and first aid merit badge. So a couple different things there. We're going to talk about the new product lineup at $20 and some of the thought process there to make it easier on a consumer to pick. And then make sure, obviously, you say your name with your unit. Never, never, never ask your customers just to buy popcorn. It's about supporting both the local council and your unit and the scout. And the next thing you're going to show here is change your mindset. Even call it a donation. Insert as specific as you can get. I know a scout who was going to Northern Tier and really wanted to go dog sledding, and that was his pitch: help me dog sled. And he put a picture of him or his head cut on a dog sledding team. That made consumers really think that that's awesome, right? Instead of a scout sitting at home playing Minecraft, they're out there going to Northern Tier and going dog sledding. It's all about making the youth a better person. So I challenge you guys to get very specific with your scout sales pitches. I know you've got lions and tigers and so forth and some of the younger scouts. Just your local camp. Help me get there and help me do something fun at that local camp. Trust me, I know a lot of the reason these kids are in scouting is to go to camp and have fun. So remember, you're not selling popcorn. Anybody can go into a grocery store and buy a bag. This is not what it's about. This is a necessary kind of evil when it comes to fundraising, is to have that product attached to it. Okay, $20 on most items. What's that about? Trails End has done some testing on different price points out there and consumers. One price point, what does that do? First off, we thought about some of the benefits, right? It simplifies the inventory. Scouts can make mistakes. Everybody does. You sell the wrong bag, or you sell a $25 bag that should have been or a 20, and you're a $5 difference. All that's just confusing. If you level the playing field and make it all one for the unit leader, inventory management is super simple. Mistakes, they happen. This is an easier way to rectify those. The other part is we tested over 5,000 customer interactions. What does that mean? So it's myself and other Trails End reps with a clipboard outside of show and sell tables in the off season, writing yeses, nos, approached the table but didn't buy, ran by and pretended like they didn't see anybody, as you guys have seen those people at your show and sell tables that don't even make eye contact. We saw some data points that we really liked. $11 an hour increase on average with the $20 model. 8% more yeses. And then scouts, I thought was really interesting, started to understand more. It's not about the product. It's more about me and about the unit. So that's another thought process, kind of a peek behind the curtain with our new product mix that'll be coming up here on a slide or two. Before we get to product mix, I definitely want to highlight the heroes and helpers and just a thank you, right? So every donation you turn in, remember your scouts is going to get an extra half point. And I labeled those points out there on the right side of that screen, 1.75 for credit and 1 point for cash. But because of you all, not just your council, but all the councils Trails End work with, we were able to donate over 300,000 bags to active military, veterans, food banks, fire, police, EMT, and homeless shelters. 52,000 scouts chose to log in their donations. And those scouts that did that earned $265,000 worth of gift cards. So remember, here's and helpers. If a consumer comes by the table and drops off $1, 50 cents, $5, $50, whatever that is, you then in turn that into the Heroes and Helpers program. You earn your commission as a unit, the council earns theirs, and then Trails End donates product on behalf of you that will follow an audit process to make sure it's donated, signed for, and pictures are received to a local or somebody across the United States, active military, veterans, and so forth. It's a really, really neat program. Cool. Okay. Product mix. We'll talk about this. So I'm excited about the product mix. We've made some changes. I don't know if you guys have been paying attention to the news, but consumers are more and more actively looking at ingredients. We have chosen to remove all the artificial colors and artificial flavors in all of our product mix besides for the chocolate pretzels. So all the product mix we're going to talk today, besides your chocolate pretzels on your take order, won't have any of those artificial colors or flavors. We are now also featuring some of the Scouting America logo and marks on it. So a little more of a branding partnership with Scouting. And we want to show the different products. So overall, the $20 model is going to be the thought process this year with one upsell item, which is your microwave butter. So everything in bags will be price point at $20. So let's talk about some of the items. I'm going to start on the bottom left and work my way across. The white cheddar, number one seller. No major change besides there are a couple different formula tweaks to make it a little more cheesy. That's going to be a $20 price point. That was your number one seller, both containers and dollars, or bags and dollars. Next, sweet and salty kettle. That was also a really good seller, but it was $15. Remember, everything's at 20, so Trails End chose to increase the amount of ounces and make it a similar size bag. It's still only 4 ingredients. It's 7.5 cupfuls or 4.5 ounces. That's important. So that one's a new one as a new size. Next, we've got salted caramel. Salted caramel was at 25 last year. It's removed down to 20. It's that, that salted caramel. It's got 5 total cups, 11 total ounces. That's one of the items there at 20. Next, we've got a new item, butter popcorn. So we have a ready-to-eat butter popcorn with over 18 total cups, so more cups, more volume size than your white cheddar, and it's delicious. It's made with real butter. No artificial flavors or no artificial colors. So that one's going to be a great item. It's going to stack up really close to the same head size as your white cheddar. So that's going to be a huge important item. The reason we got rid of s'mores, again, is the flavoring and the colors, and then overall performance. It's kind of started to show 3 to 4% decreases nationally year over year since we rolled it out. So rolling out the butter popcorn. Then we've got popping corn. Well, natural popping corns, that one's at your 28 ounces, and that one is $20 also. And last but not least, we've got the microwave. That's a price point at 25. And we have the chocolate pretzels on your take order, which we have that is available on your order 3 at that $30. Cool. Greg, anything to add to that?
No, I think that was good. The only thing I'd say is so we just added the previous version of this. If you were a district popcorn coordinator and you got this, the chocolate pretzels weren't on here. And if you've already downloaded the hard copy form, I updated it today, and that the new hard copy order form does include the chocolatey pretzels. So that was kind of a
Cool.
last minute change for us today. We clarified that today. So, but other than that, I don't think there's any other questions. Said we had one about the chocolatey pretzels. I think we answered that. So I think we're good.
Good. All right, back to you.
All right. So thank you. And thank you, Ryan. Fantastic presentation. Thanks for all the work that you do for us and to help us and all our units through the sale.
Yeah, you're welcome.
And really appreciate it. So all of this information too, again, we're gonna post the slide deck, and this video will be available within the next 24 hours at scoutingphilly.org/popcorn. If you go there now, the list of the dates is available, and it matches what we have here. So we're doing this kickoff today. We've traditionally done some council videos over the summer as well. We might do a few of those, but what I would encourage you to do is go to scoutingphilly.org/popcorn and sign up for a Trails End webinar. So you'll find out more about storefront sales and all. There's a whole bunch of different Trails End trainings, and Ryan could probably talk a little bit about those when we're done through this. But there's a lot of resources and trainings out there. You can sign up for some of those webinars here over the summer. But order number 1 opens at the end of this month. And you have almost a full month to put that order together. So the unit deadline for that is on Friday, July 25th. And if you are a unit who sold $13,000 or more in product last year, your unit qualifies for quote unquote in-home delivery this year. It might not be to your home. Some people it goes to a storage facility, especially if they don't want their living room smelling like popcorn for 3 months. But one thing that we've done, and we've kept this for many years, is this council will pay for local delivery for those units for that first order. But you have to this is the only time we do it. So if you're one of those units and you want to place an order for that local delivery, you have to place order number 1, which is due by the end of July. So that local delivery by our partners over at Lansdowne Warehouse will be the week of August 11th through the 15th. And then if you're not one of those units, and you're still more than welcome to place order number 1, that pickup will be Saturday, August 16th, excuse me. And that will be different than last year. It will be right here at the new Council Service Center, King of Prussia, which isn't too far from the location where the pickup was last year, but it'll just be in the east side of the parking lot. We'll get you the details for that, but it'll be right here at the council office for that pickup. And for those of you that we had an incentive to sign up, the first 30 units to sign up before the end of April, we might have extended that till the end of May. You got a free banner for storefront sales, and we have those actually arrived a couple days ago, and we're sorting those out now, and we'll have those to pick up on that first Saturday, 8/16. If you're a local delivery, we'll get it to you through the delivery, or you can always just reach out and we can get you that banner anytime from this point forward. Order number 2, which can be a unit's first order. So if a unit doesn't want to place the first order and wants to save that until they get going, a lot of Cub Scout packs, this might be the case, more than free to do that. And that first order opens the beginning of September. and the deadline for that is the 12th. This order number 2 is also what we call the replenishment order. So if you're one of those first orders or units that get the first order and you've already booked a bunch of storefronts and you really hit the sale hard the first couple of weeks and you find you need some more product, well, order that for order number 2. And the pickup for that will again be here at the Council Service Center in King of Prussia on Saturday, September 27th. Order number 3 opens at the beginning of October, and the deadline is again, you get more than a month for that one, and that final pickup is on 11/22. The commissions have remained the same as the past couple of years, so up to right under $5,000, the base commission is 30%. This is for traditional sales, so storefront, wagon sales. If you go from $5,000 to just under $10,000 in gross sales for the traditional sale, your commission goes up to 35%, and then any unit that sells 10,000 or more, you get a 40% commission. This remains a bonus 2% commission for no returns. The details on that are on the website. You can return up to 10% of your total order. The goal is to sell it, but if you don't return any, you'll get 2%. Sometimes it pays to keep a little extra popcorn if that 2% is going to represent more than if you just returned it. And then the base for all online sales is 35%. So that's the breakdown there. And then we'll get a couple other questions here before we go.
Sure.
Let's see. $20 price point is awesome. Love the change over to KOP. Thanks for the great comments. Would we already have been notified if we were in the first 30 units to register? Odds are, so we have, I think right now we've had about 40 or 42 units. So the answer to that is you haven't been notified yet, but if you did register before the end of May, you will be getting a banner. But we'll send some information out about that here very shortly. Like I said, they just arrived. So I have the first, it's actually 33 units that will be receiving a banner. The other thing too, folks, is in the move, and I just found them the other day, I think we have some older banners around that are probably still good. I got to make sure they are. So we'll probably be able to get banners to more units as well. But the brand new banners this year, the 6x2 banners that you can put on your tables for storefront sales, more than likely, if you registered before the end of May to commit to the sale, you'll get one of those banners. But we'll send that information out to you. And then we have a couple questions here about will it be extra to pick up at the Council Service Center if we need it before the second order, and then will the district have additional product? Well, here at the answer to both of those questions is whatever product we do have in excess, it will remain here in the trailer at the Council Service Center until Lansdale comes to pick it up to replenish for the next order. So more than likely there will be certain items that we do have extra of. Don't bank on that. Try to place your orders as much as you can. We try to keep the margins pretty slim because it doesn't do anybody good for the council to end up with $50,000 worth of product that nobody sells. So we try to keep the orders as tight as we can, but there should be extra. And what we'll do, make sure that if you are one of those popcorn kernels, and this is the important part about registering for the sale, we'll put the QR code up. But if you register for the sale, we'll make sure that you're on the Kernel Connection newsletter, and we'll send out the information about that. And also, if you go to scoutingphilly.org/popcorn, you can join there's a Trails End Facebook group. That's a great resource. They post a lot of great stuff and information about upcoming trainings, but there's also a council popcorn Facebook group as well. And we use that, especially throughout the sale. If you have excess product that you want to try to, you post it on there and see if other units want to pick it up, and you have to, do the official transfer through the popcorn system. But you can put that out there, and we monitor that too. So if we do have some of that product here at the office, we'll let you know on there. But it's really important that if you want to participate, if your unit wants to participate in the sale, to sign up. So we have the proper person, your unit coordinator or colonel, so we can make sure that they're on the email list and they're getting all of the communications, which are going to start going out pretty regularly after this kickoff. The only other question I think we had, Ryan, was there was some additional questions about just the Can you explain more about the reservations this year? And I don't know if we want to. I mean, we talked a little bit about that. I don't know if is there a webinar coming up about that, or is there anything
Yeah, there's a
additional?
couple different resources. So the Trails on Facebook group is a good one. We'll have some larger, like nationwide webinars that will do that. So I think to kind of boil down that program is Trails End works with big box retailers and places with high foot traffic, and we secure those hours for the council and for the units. And then we have a rollout program where units kind of get to pick. It's a little bit like a fantasy football draft, if you will, but you can pick those spots that work best with your unit. We do our best to get as many locations as possible, but the locations that we book, we don't book a storefront for every unit because our kind of criteria is $300 an average hour per average based off foot traffic. So it's all about how many people walk through those doors, and we use a system called Placer AI that shows both the amount of foot traffic that goes through a store and the amount of retail dollars that store sells of their own goods, trying to find the busy peak times, and we put those out there. Now, it's not a perfect science. There'll be still some storefronts that won't churn out the best results, but overall, we're seeing those averages grow, and it also really matters to have a trained scout. So, yeah, feel free to reach out to us directly too if there's something we didn't answer when it comes to the storefront reservation process. But make sure you sign up and work those shifts that you do, so it makes us book more hours in the future too.
Great, and here's some resources. And again, you'll be able to download these, and these links are already for the most. I think most of these links are already up on our Popcorn landing page. But for Trails End support, so many resources out there in terms of videos and other webinars coming up. And the Trails End Facebook group, you can scan that QR code. Like I said too, there's a local Cray Liberty Council Popcorn Facebook group, which is especially helpful when you're talking about either trying to transfer or receive product throughout the sale. And then just for some support. So if you go to, I would encourage you, if you haven't checked it out yet, to go to scoutingphilly.org/popcorn. We've got some great, most districts or a lot of districts have some very dedicated, very knowledgeable volunteers who are willing to dedicate their time to help units succeed. They've had some success with their own units in many cases, and in a lot of cases, they're also their unit popcorn kernels as well. But they are great resources. They're on there. If your district doesn't have a local volunteer, your fundraising specialist from the staff is on there, and you can always reach out to those folks too. So you can reach out to a member of the staff. You can reach out to any of the contacts that are on the Popcorn page, and even if all else doesn't fail, you can also just send an email to the general email, which is popcorn@scoutingphilly.org. And Ryan is Ryan offered to put his information up here as well. So at least I hope he did. So his information is up there too, and he's a good resource, especially when we get to some other technical stuff that we can't answer. But I encourage you to check out those resources, and we'll get you the information you need. So like I said, if you have any other questions, you can put them in Facebook, or you can send them to popcorn@scoutingphilly.org. And even when this is recorded, if you send it to any one of those things, we'll answer. I'm just trying to go through here. I think the units are asking if there are any webinars for the new updates done to the app.
Yeah, there'll be a specific video. I think it's like 2 or 3 minutes long that says like what's new, and it'll highlight all those. So check that out. That's actually probably coming out in the next week or two. So we'll get that information, and then Greg will cross post that on your council website along with our Facebook groups. But we'll have some things on what's new. Pretty intuitive. We're not taking away like any features. It's just laid out more properly, and then some data there too. Any other questions, Greg? I've got a couple closing stuff too before we end it.
Sure. I think the only one was, will we have access to see what storefronts are available prior to being able to choose them?
Yeah, great question. End of June. I think our target date is going to be June 24th. So coming up, and that doesn't say we'll have all the stores loaded in, but all the stores to date, which again is approaching, I think it's 870 or 890,000 national hours. You'll have a sneak peek of what's available there. Yes.
Awesome. All right. Well, I'll turn it back over to you, Ryan, for any closing comments. And if
Yeah,
anybody has any questions, just keep them rolling in. If we don't get to them through it when we're live, we'll get to you after too. So.
yeah, I think the first thing I want to lead with is, along with the council, Trails In is trying to innovate and make this easier. I think about when I first started with the company and kind of it was go book your own stores, good luck, use a credit card, that's the best practice. But now Trails In, along with the council, has really put on a lot of resources. I know you guys are close with a lot of fellow units. If there's units out there that don't participate and you've had a good experience, please share that. It's really important to start networking that. The more units that participate, the stronger your council gets. We can lower or mitigate cost increases, improvements at your camp, and so forth. So we're all in this together. So make sure you give us a recommendation, and just be honest with fellow units if it's worth their time. So that's important. Also, before I end that, just a big thank you. There are so many scouts in this movement that wouldn't be able to participate without popcorn, but more importantly, without a key unit leader that drives it. So those scouts may not say thank you now, but especially when they're older and they realize what kind of happened, you'll get a lot of thank yous then. And it's just really important to have this outlet for people who need to do this program that just can't afford it normally. So big thank you to all the unit leaders and all the different volunteers that have stepped up for it. And then last but not least, you saw my contact information. Don't be a stranger. Feel free to email, text, or call me. I'll be available when you need it, but you've got some great resources in Greg and your council too. But just a big thank you, and appreciate you guys letting me hop on and talk for roughly an hour. So looking forward to your sale this year. You guys are going to do great. And yeah, let me know how I can support you.
Great. Well, thank you so much for your time tonight, Ryan, and all you do for us. And just to reiterate, thank you to all of you for all you give to scouting through popcorn and weekly meetings and everything that you do to support some great programs. And if there's anything we can do to work with you to get this going, if you're new to the sale, we will certainly help you through all of the different steps. We've got a lot of people out there that are willing to assist. So please reach out if you need anything. And again, let us know if you're going to participate so we can get you the information. So sign up if you haven't. If for some reason you don't know if your unit has signed up, you can email me there at popcorn at scoutingphilly.org, and we'll let you know. But or you can sign up again. It's okay. We'll count you a couple times. So sign up so we can get you all the resources to get you going with the sale. So reach out if you have any questions. Thanks again, Ryan. Thanks again,
Yes.
all of you, and best of luck with the sale. We'll talk to you soon. Take care, everyone. Thanks.
Thanks.